Somebody wanted me to do a video of all the corals in my tank before it's gone. So I'm going to walk through real quick and tell all the corals. These I would consider all of them in my tank fairly easy corals to take care of. I mean, some of them do need dosing because they have huge skeletons. They have to grow, so they need like more calcium than what would be in your standard salt mix. They consume more. The more corals that you have that have stony skeletons, the more calcium and alkalinity you need in there in order for them to do that. But all in all, I was just going to go over these for someone who had requested it. These are candy canes. These are the nuclear. I've heard them called nuclear, neon. You don't see them much in the trade, at least in fish stores in our area much anymore. I got it as a two-headed frag, or maybe 3 heads at the most, and it's just grown to be something huge in the last 3-4 years. Pretty easy care. Does not like a ton of flow because the tissue is pretty delicate and could blow off and tear up. I've got it. My lights are not the pro lights of the marine orbits, but they're the regular ones, and so they're pretty high up in the tank to get the right amount of light. Pretty easy care. That's an acan. For me, as long as I keep them mid to low in my tank as far as positioning, they do well. I got that as a single head, and it's got 5 or 6 heads now. I don't know. I can't count them all right now. That's a pipe organ, green pipe organ. Depends where you have it placed, how long the tentacles are. If it has a lot of flow, usually the tentacles for me get longer. Grows very fast. Not terribly delicate. I've had it all the way placed from high up under the light to this is pretty low, and I kind of out of the edge of my lights, and it's doing really well. I just fragged up the mother colony of that. It had gotten too big, so I have a piece in here and a piece in my other 10-gallon tank, and then the rest of it's gone. That's some kind of a mushroom. I don't know if someone else would know the name to it. It does not multiply. I've had it for 4 years. It's never had babies, never multiplied. It has gotten bigger and bigger. It's very thick and fleshy and rubbery. It does have a mouth. I thought it was a mushroom when I bought it, but it is not. And it's very low care, easy, likes low light. It's way out of the range of my lights, within a couple of inches, and does beautifully. Gorgonia from KP Aquatics. Can't remember what it was called. Some kind of rod Gorgonian. It's grown. It's had many shoots come off of it. Pretty thick. Pretty easy care. It's in pretty good flow. There's a power head right by it. I try and put my Gorgonians in good flow so that the algae doesn't build up on them and particles of food come to them. This is a white, snow white pipe organ. Got it way up under the lights and it does great. It's not in much flow. It does need a little flow, so that way pipe organs notoriously get algae and bubble algae and stuff in their skeleton when they close up, and so I have it in some flow so that doesn't happen. These are some kind of stylophora, maybe a Pocillopora. I think it's a stylophora. That one came as bright pink from a little finger frag, and it's gotten big. That one there I got from a little teeny frag, and it was dark purple. I put it there and it turned pink, and I learned that that particular kind, where you have it placed in your tank, is what color it is. So if you have it up high, it's pink, and the lower down you have it, it turns purple. That's a huge Duncan colony. Not really happy right now. Something just walked over it, so it all closed up. That I got is 1 or 2 heads, and it's in direct flow. It flows around and looks very beautiful when it's open. Behind that, way in the center, now it's in focus, it's in the direct middle of the screen, is another Gorgonia from KP Aquatics. It's a purple one that has tan polyps, and it's very easy care. This is a Grubes Gorgonian in the middle of the screen right now. Very easy care for me. They grow like crazy. I have to trim them every few weeks. All my friends I've given frags to, I've got it in all my tanks. Sometimes if I put it on rocks to trade at the fish store. Sometimes I have to throw pieces away because I'm not going to the fish store anytime soon and don't have a place to keep it, but it's very easy care. Gongapora. My friend gave me 4 or 5 heads from hers, and it grew into this big monster. My clowns host it. It's pink. It's beautiful. Love it. It's in good flow, medium light. Feed it Reef Energy part A and B. Sorry you can hear my kids. I got a lot of kids. I got 9 kids still living at home, and so it's going to be noisy. I just don't have a time that I don't have a lot of kids talking. But that's the peacock mushrooms. They're blue and purple and very beautiful. Have a very powerful sting. Will take over your tank in time. They multiply not too fast, but they do go everywhere. I have to keep them trimmed back or else they kill the stuff I really like. Very easy care, like low light. Very gorgeous. Love them. Above that, I have a Ponape bird's nest. It's in this light, you can't really tell, but it's light green with pink tips. And it's a slow grower, but very, very nice, easy bird's nest coral. It's got medium light. It's halfway in my tank up, and it does real well, but it's directly under the bulbs. That's another Gongapora back there, pink. Under that is something I don't know what it is. I just liked it. It was purple, and it's grown well, and it does not like highlight. These are 2 Stylophora. I got them at different times. I got this one as a little frag, and it has grown into this monster. I've never seen it anywhere else again. I mean, it was from a fish store in their display tank. I asked him to cut a frag off, and he did. And I put it in my tank, and it has grown into this monster. And I've never seen that particular color at any other fish store ever. I don't know if they sell it online, but there's the green one. Back behind there is a bird of paradise. Bird's nest, thick. It grows thick. It's green and has pinkish polyps. And that one there is a purple stylophora that actually stayed purple up high. Something just brushed against it, so some of the polyps are in, but it's usually quite fuzzy. It's in pretty good flow. That's another group's Gorgonia, some more Duncan corals, some more different mushrooms. These are Ricordea. And mine get really big for some reason. I don't know if it's just through time or what, but they started off about the size of a quarter, and when they get fluffy, they're as big around as an orange or a grapefruit. And very beautiful, very big. That one's eating right now, so it's kind of closed up. The only other thing I have in here, I have a pagoda cup coral that I got as a little frag, and it's just starting to grow out and cup and go on a ledge. That's another KP aquatic Gorgonia. I'm not sure what kind, but it's done well. I've had it for 3 or 4 years. It doesn't grow much, but it's alive and seems to do okay. But other than that, there's some paleothoas in here. They do take over and try and grow up things, and they have a pretty powerful sting, and they're very toxic. You have to be careful when you're fragging them or cutting them back or anything like that. But all in all, I think that's pretty much all that I have in here. One thing I can say, there's a yellow sponge there in the middle of the screen, about having this many corals from different places all over the world is there is a lot of chemical warfare going on. I've actually had the tank doing well and then stuck a leather coral in my tank before and then have things start to die and close up because of the chemistry is just not a good mix for my tank, and had to pull the leather, and then everything came back great again. So I stay away from leather corals with my kind of mixed reefs that I put in, and I've had it happen in more than one tank, so I don't know what the deal is with that with mine. But sometimes when I add a coral, it affects many things around it, and I have to pull it, and then things come back around right. So the chemical warfare, putting this much, crowding them in this much, really has to be managed through trimming and regular water changes, and also, well, because I have no sump and no protein skimmer or anything like that. And then also I regularly, weekly change out my carbon, my Phosguard, and a little piece of poly filter that I put in there that absorbs things. And I change my filter pads every week as well. If you watch the video about one way to clean a nano tank, I go over everything that I do every week when I do my water change. But anyway, that's what's in this tank. And for whoever wanted to know the different corals and what they were, And then to me, like I said, I'd consider them all easy care. For me, they are easy care. Some people, they might not be so much, depending on the chemistry in their tank and what lights they have and such. But anyways, y'all have a blessed day and happy reefing.